Hey, this is Kate from Daily Tarot Girl, and in this video I am going to unbox the Slavic Legends Tarot. So this is a deck that I was really excited to get, and it is by Taroteca Studio, and the artwork is done by Magdalena Kaxan, and she also did the artwork for the Dark Mansion Tarot, which is one of my favorite tarot decks. So the Slavic Legends Tarot, it says it's inspired by Slavic gods, legends, and culture. So right away, I really love the box. So the box is made to look like a book. It's got a magnetic flap, and there's even like a little bookmark, really cute. And this is what the card backs look like. And then the inside of the box is quite pretty. So let's talk about the cardstock, because this is one of my favorite things about this deck. I love the cardstock. It's my favorite kind of cardstock. So the cards are silk laminated, so they have a nice, soft, silky, matte finish. Sometimes with silk laminated decks, the cards will stick together, and so it will make it kind of hard to shuffle. But that's not the case with this deck. So these cards slide against each other nice and smoothly. And the edges are black, and it's a nice, thick, really high quality cardstock. So I'm going to slowly go through this deck just so you get a feel for the cards and the artwork. So starting with the Fool. Now I fell in love with this deck as soon as I took these cards out of the box. So I really fell in love with the Dark Mansion Tarot, and one of the things I loved about that deck was the artwork. And so I was really excited when I heard that the artist also did this deck as well. And what I really love about these cards, and I've used them now for a few readings. I haven't had the deck long, but I've done a few readings with it. I've read for myself as well as other people with this deck. And what I find I like about it is the cards are quite detailed, but not too detailed. So they don't really feel too busy to me, but they feel like there's a nice amount of rich detail. And I like that the deck kind of sticks to the classical sort of Rider-Waite symbols and imagery, yet it definitely doesn't feel like a Rider-Waite clone. There's enough unique things in the cards that kind of help me think of the cards a little bit differently. Like, that's what I love about using different decks, is that the artist will portray each card a little bit differently, and it helps me kind of think of the card differently. This is a really interesting version of the Chariot, I think. Now, I'm not super familiar with Slavic legends and folklore and mythology. Most of the mythology I'm familiar with is Greek mythology, but I'm familiar with a little bit of Slavic mythology or legends. And so some of these cards are familiar to me. I'm like, oh yeah, I think this kind of reminds me of something. But working with this deck has kind of inspired me to brush up on my Slavic stories and legends. I really like this Death card. I think this is really a beautiful version. And there's something about hand-drawn art that I just really appreciate and enjoy. So I'll do a little sample reading at the end so you can kind of see how the deck reads. I find this deck very easy to read with. And when I first took these cards out of the box, I interviewed them. So I think I might do that at the end. See what cards come up. I love this moon. This is so pretty. Very powerful. So I will put all the links just below this video if you want to learn more about this deck or if you want to purchase this deck. I'll just put that info under the video. And I love the aces in this deck. So the aces are absolutely stunning, like really gorgeous. There's something about this deck to me that feels kind of cozy, like I just want to spend time with these cards. And like I said, I've only done a few readings so far with this deck because I haven't had it very long, but there's this feeling I get when I read with this deck, like I feel like I'm kind of settling into the reading. I'm like cozying up to the cards. This is a very cozy deck, and I feel like it's a very easy deck to immediately connect with. At least that's how I feel. Of course, that's very individual. You might not get the same feeling, but that's how I feel about these cards. I found it easy to connect with right away. The court cards especially are really stunning and lovely. Okay, so here's another beautiful, beautiful ace. And I really like this version of the Four of Swords. I think that's so cool to have a hibernating bear. I think that just really kind of sums up the vibe of the Four of Swords. The artwork on this deck is very atmospheric, like especially with this card here. Many of the cards, though, they have this a very discernible mood or atmosphere that is easy to connect with. It makes it really easy if you like to enter the cards when you're reading them, like if you like to kind of step into the cards, this deck is really good for that. And I really appreciate just the uniqueness. Like here we have the Ten of Swords. There's a lot of like imagery that I just haven't seen before in a tarot deck, and I really like that. Ace of Cups. I always like it when cards that are more kind of negative are so beautiful. Like Five of Cups is one of those like challenge cards, and here it's just so beautiful. Like it's such a gorgeous image. I feel like the colorfulness and the vivid colors probably aren't coming through as strongly on video as they are in person. So just keeping that in mind, that the cards are the colors are very beautiful, very, very vivid in person. Very rich. And let me know in the comment section how you feel about these cards, what your thoughts are. I have a feeling this deck might become kind of my new favorite. I have a few decks that are like my go-to decks. The ones I use most often are I love this one. I use the Lightseers and the Everyday Witch a lot. Also, Dark Mansion is a good one, and I could see this being another go-to deck. Oh, I love this one. I love, the Five of Wands is kind of a tricky card, I think, when it comes up. And I just love how, with all the fiery dragons, it's just totally, beautifully illustrates that sort of fiery, intense energy behind the Five of Wands. Okay, so we're almost at the end. Knight of Wands. Yeah, that's just so gorgeous. The colors, everything is really pretty. Okay, so now that we're at the end, I'm going to shuffle the cards. And I'm going to interview this deck. Okay. All right, so I'm going to begin by asking the cards, what kind of a deck are you? Ooh, this one fell out. Okay, so I'm going to choose this one. Okay, and I got 10 of Cups. So my intention with this card is, when I asked the question, what kind of a deck are you? I meant what kind of a card will sum up your personality? And we have the 10 of Cups, which is a very beautiful card. So the 10 of Cups, I associate this card with, and let me just zoom in a little here. I associate this card with dreams coming true. And there is this very peaceful, idyllic kind of energy with the 10 of Cups. So what I take from this is that this deck, the Slavic Legends Tarot, for me anyhow, with my relationship with this deck will be a deck that will help me make my dreams come true and will kind of bring this peaceful, supportive, kind of warm sort of energy to my readings. Okay, so I'm going to put this card to this, well, I'll put it back in the deck. I'll shuffle my cards. Ooh, Queen of Swords came out. Okay. I'll put her back in the deck. We'll see if she pops up again. And so now I want to ask my cards, what kind of readings do you like to do? What kinds of topics do you like reading about? Okay. Ooh, 10 of Swords. Okay. So what I get from this is that this deck doesn't shy away from difficult topics, difficult questions. And when you're in a real bind, when you're in a situation where you feel like giving up or where you feel utterly defeated, This is the kind of moments that this tarot deck wants to come in and do a reading. This is the kind of situation that this tarot deck likes to help with. So that's kind of interesting. Okay, so we asked, what is this deck like personality-wise? We asked, what kind of readings do you like to do? Let's ask, what do you look for in a tarot reader? The Hermit. Cool. Okay. So this deck looks for a reader that is like the Hermit, so knows how to quiet the mind and turn inward. The Hermit is a solitary figure in the tarot. So I think this deck looks for someone who is kind of introverted, who is comfortable being alone, but who is also kind of a seeker. The Hermit is definitely seeking something. And the Hermit is wise. The Hermit knows how to tune into his inner wisdom. And I think that that is a quality that this tarot deck looks for in a reader. All right, so let's draw one more card. Okay, let's ask this deck, what card do you want to show us the most? There's 78 cards here. Which one do you want to show us the most right now? Which card, what message do you have for us? Okay. This one's standing out to me. Ooh, the Star. Oh my gosh. I love this card so much. This is one of my favorite cards. So the message is one of hope and peacefulness. The Star is about just letting go, like relaxing, letting go, trusting in the process of life, and trusting that you are part of everything. You're not separate. You're part of the greater whole. You have a place in an important place in the universe. We all do. And there's an emphasis amongst like hope, trust, connection with the Star. And so I feel like this is the card that this deck wanted to show us the most. And I think this says a lot about this deck's personality, to be honest, that this is the card that wanted to be seen the most, because it's such a beautiful, peaceful, wonderful card. I couldn't have chosen a better card, honestly. So that's really cool. Okay, so this has been my unboxing of the Slavic Legends Tarot. Again, I'll put all the info if you want to learn more about this deck and where to purchase it. It's by Taroteca Studio, and I'll put all that info just below this video. So let me know, leave me a comment. What did you think about this deck? I'd love to hear your thoughts. So again, thank you so much for watching. My name is Kate. I'm also known as the Daily Tarot Girl. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, give me a like, hit the subscribe button, and leave me a comment. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.